here today. Awesome.
Farewell. The Force is with us.
All right, and are you guys all Houston natives, or where are we from, and how are we enjoying Houston?
Yes.
So I'm from Orlando, Florida, but I've been to Houston many times. Any Astros fans out there? Okay. I've been to many baseball games, probably about 30 Houston Astros games. So I'm kind of like a Houston adoptee, right?
That is amazing. Okay, so jumping right in, Star Wars is a beautiful franchise, right? So many wonderful memories attached to it. Obviously, this is what we're all here for, right? Star Wars, right, everyone?
Yeah. I was here for the Loud House. And no, oh, I'm kidding.
What was it, honestly, being part of such a beautiful franchise that George Lucas created?
Well, it's always a joy to get to be a part of a universe you grew up watching. I was 10 when that Star Wars movie came out.
I wasn't. You weren't even born yet.
I wasn't even born yet. Yeah, that's
That's
it.
right.
That's coming
You
back
were
to me.
just a wee little kid. It is amazing to be a part of the galaxy far, far away because of all of you. You have all made it amazing because Clone Wars was like this weird new thing, and who's this Ahsoka character, and are we gonna like her and all of that? And now, all these years later, you guys helped save Star Wars with Clone Wars, save Clone Wars. Pretty cool. We got to come back and do another season, and it's all because of all of you. So we love you and we thank you.
Idiots. So, Ashley, this is for you.
So, you voiced Hakisonda for a teenage Padawan to a wise leader. What personal throws parallels your own journey with her over the years?
Oh my goodness. So the question was, I voiced Ahsoka from a young Padawan all the way to a wise leader in Star Wars Rebels. Now, I was always older than Ahsoka. I was 25 when I started voicing Ahsoka, and Ahsoka was 14 when we met her. But in many ways, I still feel like I grew up with Ahsoka. My entire adult life has been spent with Ahsoka Tano. And in many ways, life has imitated art. I've gone through some of the same lessons that Ahsoka's gone through. And actually, when we meet Ahsoka in Star Wars Rebels, she was in her early 30s at that point. I was the exact same age as Ahsoka in real life as she was in Star Wars Rebels. So that was pretty cool. But I think the reason I say Ahsoka lives in all of us is I think we all have a story of how we grew up with Ahsoka. A lesson that Ahsoka learned, we learned. And so at this point, you know, she's taken up a place in our heart and in our mind and in our soul. And I really appreciate all of you sharing your stories with me. It's meant so much for me to hear. So Ahsoka lives in all of us now.
So, James, this was for you.
Okay.
So, Obi-Wan is an iconic character through and through. So, what was it like for you to be able to play such an iconic character in Clone Wars?
Gee, I never thought of it that way until now. So now, wow. Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. Obi-Wan's, yeah, obviously, Obi-Wan Kenobi, the old Ben Kenobi. I grew up with as a kid watching Star Wars. Never knew I'd get to be him then. And then Ewan McGregor, of course, brought him to life in these wonderful movies. And then I've got to be him for 23 years now. I've been the voice of Obi-Wan in various ways. So I'm very blessed. Cheap applause. I'll take cheap applause. That's great. But no, it's thrilling to be a part of it. And then Jedi Master Plo Koon as well. Yes, Plo Koto Ya. And several other characters in the world of Star Wars. So it is a dream come true to be a part of it, but mainly because I get to live and work with these wonderful people. And I say live and work because Ashley and Matt and I usually are together. Now, y'all know why Matt Lanter is not here, right? His wife is about to give birth at any moment. So,
Matt, everyone.
yes.
I'm sorry to tell you that, Padme.
But, and he's going to have a Luke. He's already got a Leia, so there you go. So, yes, he sets his wishes.
Fair. As someone who has voiced many iconic characters throughout your illustrious career, when it comes to Star Wars itself, how do you keep each character in the Star Wars universe memorable? The ones that you've done.
Well, like I said, I grew up loving Star Wars. So getting to finally play a Jedi in the Dave Filoni Star Wars universe, that was so, I mean, man, that was even better than doing a late night sketch with Mark Hamill.
That's amazing. Round of applause. Catherine, this was great.
Yes.
So, Padme's strength and political role were expanded deeply in the comics. What was it like to portray her beyond the post?
It was really cool. It was an honor because I was a big fan of the character Padme, and Matt and I felt very blessed to get to expand on these characters that, you know, if everyone had seen and loved, or not loved in the case of, you know, depending. Yeah, we just, with Dave at the helm and expanding their love relationship and making them as real as we could for people, but also just some of the episodes where you got to see that some people still sort of viewed her as a damsel in distress, which I just never understood. And so we really got to flesh out that, yes, she believes in diplomacy and she's a politician, but she was also, when the time came, she's ready to pick up a blaster or a lightsaber occasionally.
What did you discover about the lightsabers, though? What was it that you discovered about those?
It was heavier than I thought.
It's a funny law.
T.C. Carson, this one's for you. Now,
This is your life, T.C. Carson.
All right, bring it.
So, such an iconic voice. Sorry. So, we all know Samuel Jackson is a legend in his own right, obviously. And he was amazing as Mace Windu. But your portrayal was another level in his own right. So, what was it like to play Mace Windu in Clone Wars?
Well, when I first got the gig, it was really about matching Sam's voice as much as I could. But as I got to work with Dave, he was like, "Well, what do you have? And what can you make it more where you are and still keep the essence of who he is?" So I think that's what happened is we were able to go through the series. We were able to create this Mace Windu that you hear now on Clovers. And I like him. And he still got a little Sam in him. He got a little hood. He got a little bit of hood, but he keeps it kind of under wraps.
Absolutely. See, Jim, Hondo's the ultimate lovable scrounge for sure. How did you find the right balance between danger, charm, and comic relief?
Oh boy, I don't think. What was that again? Are you sure? Can you break that? Can I answer that in parts? You're all night. I actually kind of gravitate towards guys like that. Yeah, the thing about Hondo is the way I think about it is if you play cards with him, you're in trouble. Shame on you. I hope you have a big wallet, because he's not going to leave until you don't have a big wallet. But you could probably trust him with your kids. You know what I mean? And then that's not a bad guy. That's a pretty good bad guy. And I kind of gravitate toward those kind of guys. So it was a guy, Don Carnage at Chubadale Rescue Rangers, Tailspinners. And he was kind of, he was an airport. And one of those are space pirates or go pirates. That's it. You're always good. There's that good time.
Thanks. Thank you so much. So, this question is for everyone. Now, besides the characters you obviously played, which character was your personal favorite and why?
Okay, I'm going to answer and say Hondo because I got to witness Jim create Hondo like literally in the moment. So, Dave, I don't remember, the exact direction he gave you, but obviously if Jim Cummings is in the studio, you let Jim Cummings do his thing. And he literally just came up with Hondo on the spot, and it was just watching brilliance work. It was so cool.
Sure. God love you. Thanks. You know, for what it's worth, it's Hondo, and I accidentally invented this years ago. If you do a terrible impression of a really famous person everybody knows, nobody knows you're doing, it's a new character. And if you do a perfect impression of somebody everybody knows, you never know. Hold on to it. You might be able to use it. And if you take two good impressions of two famous people and put them together, like I did with Hondo, Charles Bronte and Yul Brynner, they would have a nasty looking kid. But he'd sound like Hondo, I think.
It probably looked like Hondo.
He'd probably look like Hondo, too. So anyway, that's where Hondo came from. Charles Bronson and Yul Brynner. You know, he's got the sort of an accent, but you don't know where the hell he's from. Where is this guy from? Well, now you know. I think I'm from Okay.
Talking about favorite characters for Clone Wars or Star Wars? Well, it's still the same actually, so it doesn't matter. My favorite character has always been Yoda, just because I just think he'd be such a good master to have and to listen to and get advice from.
What was he miss?
Favorite character besides your own in Star Wars comics?
That Star Wars?
I didn't catch
Oh, so I can't say me, yeah? Okay. I like Jar Jar Binks. Jar Jar Binks is cool. Because he's not a linear thinker. But it always works out. And sometimes my life is like that.
I love the Padme and Jar Jar episodes, I gotta tell you.
Well, I'm pretty clear that my favorite Clone Wars character was Ahsoka. Because this, Star Wars legend having a Padawan brought a new vibe into the Star Wars universe, which is probably why my son was so excited to finally go see Star Wars in a theater when it was the 4 episodes of Clone Wars.
Thank you, Phil. And James, you've always been so kind. James has been an Ahsoka fan from day one too, so y'all are so kind. Thank you.
I was going to say that, yeah. Ahsoka, because as Ashley's talked about many times too, Ahsoka was the eyes and ears of us as the audience. So she experienced Star Wars as we experienced Star Wars.
Yeah, Darth Vader was never as the news of us.
No, not much.
It actually has killer hair, y'all. Has anybody not noticed? Let's give it up.
So, there have been many special moments throughout Clone Wars, right? Some that we share, or many that we hold near and dear to us. So, are there moments to each one of you that just sticks out more than the other? Either because where you were in that lifetime, or just like the message in itself, or just because you liked it? What would it be, Rob?
The moments that I remember are when we were all able to do group recordings together. That was a lot of fun to actually be in the room, because most times, like when you do video games or when you do animation, you kind of do your lines and you do them 3 or 4 different ways, and then the editor puts that together. But when you get a chance to actually be in the room with the actors, it's different. The timing is different. The responses are different because they change a word or they change their inflection, which changes how you deliver your line. So those were the best moments I had working with everybody.
Yeah, and that was the coolest part about Clone Wars is we always worked together, in kind of in the round like an old-time radio play, and we would get to play off of each other. Now, the one thing about it, though, is if Anakin and Ahsoka had a lot of lines together, they'd actually put you on other sides of the room because of the mic would bleed it to the other. But it would be great because you'd always have that eye line, or Anakin and Padme were always on the other side. But they always put Matt and I next to each other. We always had a lot of lines together. And I think it was just because Dave would always be like, I like watching my Obi-Wan and Anakin be together and do their thing. That's my Dave. I always have to do my bad Dave Filoni impression. Because Dave would always impersonate George Lucas. Remember? We'd be in there, and he'd be behind the glass and go, well, George came out or something. And he starts going, you know, someday this is going to come back on you, and people are going to be impersonating you now, Mr. Fancy Pants Cowboy Hat guy. And so here we are.
That's amazing. Okay, so fan engagement. That's really important, you know? Star Wars Clone Wars came, I would say it's timeless and a classic because it came at the right time. And there's just so many beautiful meanings within the show itself. So when looking back and you see all these wonderful fans that come to your booth, to your tables and share their stories, what is that like for you to know that you were such a big part of their childhood?
Well, for me, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, and I've told many of you, this is my favorite part about being the voice of Ahsoka. It's this. It's getting to know you. I have several of you friends out there. I have a photographic memory with faces. Yes, I know, my friend Angel. Yes. So I remember people time and time again, and I consider us friends once we've met. You know, Anna, and how blessed are we that we get to travel the world and geek out with fellow Star Wars fans. I mean, that is just the best job in the entire world. So just as excited as you all are to meet us, we are just as excited to meet you and to see your art and to hear your stories and to hear what Star Wars means to you. You know, I just shared a story with someone right before this panel about how during 2020, when the final season of Clone Wars came out, you know, it was such a dark time for so many of us. And leave it to Star Wars, the Clone Wars, to deliver hope, even though, I mean, Order 66 is not really full of hope, but to deliver us hope, something to look forward to during such a time of uncertainty. So we share a bond that is unbreakable, and we are truly grateful for you. Thank you.
So, you mentioned something there for who said what Star Wars means to you. So that is my personal question. This is for all of you. So for you, all of you, what does Star Wars mean to you personally?
Fine. Josh, you know, in spirit, it reminds me of a lot of. I used to be a nut for the old westerns, the old black and white westerns, and there's a lot of that in there in Star Wars. There's, you know, people. I mean, the bit like in the very first movie, in the cantina when Han is under there, and he's pretending not to really shoot this guy. Okay, and that, I mean, that could have been in Dodge City, you know, and it had that kind of appeal to me. And I'm a big black and white old cowboy TV show fan, and it struck me. And it's like, it's a shoot 'em up kind of, but it's got a morality play to it. You know, the good guys are good, the bad guys are bad, and then there's Han Solo and the people like Hondo. Is he good? Yeah, you know, and it's kind of, it brings to life all the people and all the drama that we experienced throughout history, and it's still going on today, and here we all are. So yeah, I'm out of Bobby today.
Well, for me, I had a really, really great friend that was like a brother. Both of our names are Terrence. He was Terrence A. Baker, and I was Terrence A. Carson. So Tab and Tan. I went to my first Star Wars movie with my brother. He was so in this Star Wars universe. He was in it. When I got the gig, I thought about him because he had passed away. And it is a way to stay connected to somebody who I really, really admire. He was a wonderful actor, great voiceover actor as well, lots of commercials. But every time I go, every time I went into the studio, I would think about him. And so that is the connection I have with Gold Star.
I love your voice so much. I was gonna make a joke about how we audition for the same things all the time. It's just so cool to sit next to that voice. So, but for me, it's the eternal battle of good versus evil that exists in every day. It's sometimes the gray that you see, a little bit like Jim was talking about, but the redemptive qualities of man when tries to do what's right and turn to the light side. And also just, standing with your friends to fight for what you believe in. And it's pretty much Star Wars in a nutshell, and doesn't get much better.
Yeah, well, I always worshipped the Star Wars universe because I loved it so much. Watching this long, long time ago at the done so far, far away, it made me finally get into sci-fi. And when we finally started doing Clone Wars, it got even better. It got more heart into it. So I'm a Star Wars worshiper.
Wow, no pressure. All these great answers, and now I got to come up with something. I hope you're thinking of something, Ashley. Ashley always knows how to bring it home, though, so we got that. Star Wars, yeah, so for me, I saw Star Wars when I was 7 years old the first time, and yes, I'm dating myself there, but 7 years old when Star Wars came out, and I saw it in a drive-in movie theater, and I remember the coolest thing about it was, it's kind of like Jim was talking about, before that, we had 2001, we had Logan's Run, we had all these really cool sci-fi movies, but everything was pristine and perfect. And Star Wars was filthy, it was dirty, it was the Old West. Nothing worked, this hunk of chunk and bacon on the side. It became real. If space was going to be real, it was Star Wars. And it's probably impossible for half of this room or more to actually kind of know what it was like to have a world without Star Wars. But there's a couple of us on the stage that might know a world without Star Wars. And it is much, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about Ashley and I. But it changed the world. And what's amazing is that you're all still here signing up for it. And by the way, we got David Acorn over there, we got Nika Futterman, we got D. Bradley Baker, we got Star Wars all around this room, people that were part of the Clone Wars. Please go and see them at their booths and stuff and tell them how much you love what they do, because it's an amazing little world that George Lucas just thought up in his brain one day. So I'm grateful he did.
Well, I already answered. To me, Star Wars means hope. And one of my favorite fortune cookies, the fortune cookies that were at the beginning of every Clone Wars episode? My favorite one said, "Never give up hope, no matter how dark things seem." And it's so true. And I think Ahsoka is the epitome of hope.
Round of applause. All right, so now, before we get into our next segment of hearing all the wonderful questions, you guys go ahead and line up right here. Awesome. And you mentioned hope, so I do want to stretch on that, and that's more my own personal tester. So many of us grew up in broken homes, rough childhoods, never knew what tomorrow would look like, and just trying to survive, but that was it. So really, what you all did during those times when we needed it most, you provided hope. George Lucas created it. You guys were the perfect recipe, the perfect spices, everything. So I just wanted to say thank you so much. And whenever we get to see you in person or have you on stage or even come to your rooms, it means so much because you are heroes for so many. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start getting all the questions.
Guess. This.
Hello, my name's JC. I was wondering, This is kind of a deep cut question, but I know there's from for the Star Wars Clone Wars Decoded episode that they ran TC'd it, where they would basically show like the in between what's going on in the scene and not like this. It's kind of confusing, but was there ever a chance of continuing that today in the line, so they kind of stopped abruptly?
My bad.
You know, so the Decoded, Star Wars Decoded, yeah, the Clone Wars Decoded is what you're talking about. Well, the thing is so we were always 2 years ahead. We started the show 2 years before the show came out, so we were always a couple seasons ahead. So when we finished, we were working in season 7, almost season 8. And then Star Wars got canceled. Back before canceled was a weird thing. And so then we finished in season 5, and then they came out with these season 6 ones that was kind of a mishmash of ones on Netflix because they kind of went through them all. And then I think a lot of the storylines, actually, you can speak to that, blend into Rebels with Ahsoka and such. So I think when those things happened, that all kind of went away. So, but I think that there's always room to learn more about Clone Wars.
Hi guys, I'm Ashley. Hi, Pep. How did I? In his honor, since he's not here, I thought you have to share some of your favorite answers.
Well, she said, in his honor, since he's not here, can we share some of our favorite Matt Lanter stories? Well, Matt and I are neighbors. He actually convinced me to move into the neighborhood. But what he didn't tell me is his house is up on the top of the hill. So he has the high ground.
So some of you have probably heard this, but if Matt were here, this is his favorite story to tell. So Matt was actually a recast. So there was an Anakin before Matt. There was another Anakin for about 6 months. His name is Matt Lucas. He's so talented. He does go to conventions from time to time. He was Anakin in the micro series. Super, super talented guy. Please go meet him if you see him. But after about 6 months, they decided to go in a different direction, which happens a lot in our field. I've been recast several times. It's heartbreaking when it happens, but it is something that can be quite common. So Matt Lanter, we had all been working together for about 6 months by the time Matt came in. Now, Dave Filoni had already warned me. He said, hey, just so you know, a lot of people are going to want to ship, meaning like Anakin and Ahsoka, meaning, want something romantic between the two of them. And Ahsoka's only a 14-year-old girl. But obviously we have Padme in the mix. And so he had said no. He said Anakin and Ahsoka are like brother and sister. That's what this relationship is. So Matt recalls when he first came into the studio, and literally this was the first time we met. It's like, hi, I'm Matt. Hi, I'm Ashley. Nice to meet you. Just so you know, there's nothing going on here. That's literally the first thing I ever said to him. And it was so rude, and I didn't mean it to be rude. I was just letting him know there's nothing going on between Anakin and Ahsoka. But he thinks it's hilarious, and he would tell that story if he were here today.
Unfortunately, yes, just big matches because now this is more touching home and not really Star Wars, but I want more personal advice. Okay, my father is just so sensitive. He's a big Star Wars fan, but he has Parker six. My thing is, I would each one of y'all, each one of y'all said to how are y'all? I stay, I guess I put with him and just be as supportive I can because I'm autistic and it's not be that's all the truth. So say, hey, it's show also judge the heart and like how there's a lot of just stuff. Just see the good just out that side, dude. There's just so much to just feel by two or three and go, hey, it's if that makes sense.
We are one big family here. We really are. And the beautiful thing is we get to see each other here at the shows and such. So our best and our prayers to you and your father dealing with Parkinson's and all. Thank you for sharing that. And God bless you. We're glad that Clone Wars brings you all together.
I appreciate it. This ain't is white, so you want to keep it in your prayers. Everybody loves it.
Absolutely.
Say it for
Yes.
Dwight.
Thank you so much.
God bless you.
Hi, I'm Anna. I've already talked to a few of you and given you a bunch of gifts. I really don't have a question. It's more so I have 3 more drawings I need to give. Sorry. I'm just really glad that I'm able to finally meet all of you in person. But thank you for bringing all these characters to life. I really do appreciate all of y'all.
Thank you for your beautiful artwork. We really appreciate it.
Is this am I?
Wow.
I've never looked this good. Is this dashing guy? Let's not be.
Thank you. About 20 years younger. Thank you.
Stick it. I just want to say, Ashley, you were so amazing and such a feminist inspiration because her universe, that's go woman. I just wanted to say ask, what is something you wish your character could tell themselves after everything they've been through? Well, what is something you wish they could tell themselves?
Something you wish your character could tell themselves or us. Yeah. So Hondo, what would Hondo say to Hondo? Jim.
Keep up the good work. I love to love you. And actually, I think that is better. What are you saying? He's his own big fan, that's for sure. But don't worry. Just make a nice contribution and I will see to it that your money is invested wisely because I care about you.
Hondo for office, yes.
Stay away from planes with snakes.
Or windows by the Emperor.
Speaking of the Emperor, Padme would tell herself not to trust white-haired dudes whispering in her ear with English accents.
Jeez.
What would Fisto say to himself? Those who have power should restrain themselves from using it. He didn't say that.
Let's see. I'd say, hello there. Hello there. Hello there. Hello there. I have the high ground. Me too. Yes, Ashley.
I think Ahsoka, with her eternal optimism, would always remind herself everything's going to be okay.
Hi, my name's also Danielle. So you guys mentioned earlier that sometimes you guys would be in the booth all together, working on episodes. Was there ever a time where you guys were just having trouble getting through one of those sessions because you guys were maybe cracking up too much or, things of that nature?
Okay, I have shared this before. There was the planet Serapis, and I couldn't get through it because there's no way to say it without saying the word piss. And so it's like, we're going to Serapis. And then I would laugh, and then I'd be like, we're going, Master, to Serapis. And I'd laugh, and I could not get through it. So if you ever need to make yourself laugh, just say Serapis. And it's so funny.
That's the most you'll ever hear Ashley Eckstein swear, by the way. And I think when I watch those commercials at night, it's always, ask your doctor to try Serapis.
I remember like we had really talented people on the show, and some of them are just so funny. And when you would get like 2, 3, 4 of them in a room, and they can all do impressions, and they're just like so on it, so quick. It would be shocking to me sometimes that we wouldn't actually finish an episode because it was just hilarious. And yeah, like Ashley and I talk about like, because we were newer, it was like going to Harvard for voice acting, because we were just around these people who were just, you know, like Dean, who should be here, you know, just he could just do a creature out of nowhere, just like completely out of nowhere, something you couldn't even imagine that a human could come up with. He just did it. And then something else happened over here, and it was, I think our job on the other side is probably even better than what you guys got to see. So
Awesome. One more time for the amazing cast of Star Wars Clone Wars.